the poet at Mindshift TV. Man, I ain't been on here forever, man. But look, I'm gonna get straight into it, man, cause I ain't got no notes. I ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? But rest in peace to Young Noble, man. He was a member of the Outlawz. You know what I'm saying? Tupac group. Um, he died from basically suicide. I don't know if anybody remember, man, but he was the guy that was on the Machiavelli, man, the Hail Mary Machiavelli, song. He was the one that said what's how it go when he was like I'm walking through the club, peeping everything that's around me. Brain kinda cloudy, smoked out, feeling rowdy, ready to wet the party up. And whoever in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he went hard, man. He went real hard, and I wasn't a big fan of him, you know what I'm saying? But I listened to a lot of his verses, so I was a big fan of him as far as like being a rapper, lyrics, a good writer. But I just wasn't a big fan of, too much of his music. But the reason why I'm making this video, man, is because, man, mental illness is real. And mental illness, what that is, that's something that affects your mood. That's something that affects your thinking, right? So, before he passed away, man, he was he was going against Nas, you know what I'm saying? He was fighting with Nas, you know what I'm saying, making diss records and stuff like that, and stuff that would happen since 1996. So that was something way back in 30 years ago. So you should have known that something was affecting him. If somebody is sent back dissing somebody that happened 30 years ago, man, that's something is going on in his head that's not right. You understand what I'm saying? But this is not, the really judge or anything like that, man. But I just heard, I just been seeing so many videos about this. And even I heard one guy, man, say, man, real niggas don't, commit suicide. Which is a lie, man. Man, if you look at the statistic, man, black men, especially young black men, commit suicide, man, almost every day. So, man, it's people are being affected when it comes to their mental illness. So that's just basically me talking about just having to aware about that, man. I got 3 things, man, that a lot of people, anybody that's dealing with any type of mental illness, man, can can kind of listen to and kind of use in their daily life. So you should use, laugh sometime, man. It's good to laugh sometime, man. It's good to, it's good to move forward. Don't look at the past all the time. A lot of us, man, we look at the past, you know what I'm saying? And we don't want to, really want to accept what's going on in our life right now, as in reality. So a lot of us don't want to do that. So, man, rest in peace to Young Noble, man. Rest in peace, man. Like I said, I've had my dad, my father, he passed away, man, and he didn't commit suicide or nothing like that, but man, he had a mental illness. He had he was dealing with alcoholism, and just could not drink. So if you look at it, it's basically suicide. I had my father. My father basically just said, look, if I can't drink, then I don't, I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do whatever I want to do until I leave up out of here. And then, you just watching your daddy deteriorate. You know what I'm saying? I had to watch my father deteriorate right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Losing weight, getting sick, in and out the hospital. You know what I'm saying? I watch, just watching that, man, it just, it's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? To somebody to be able to choose alcohol over their own life. So, man, that's a suicide. To me, that's suicide. When when you can choose a better way to live and you rather choose the other way to live. So, like I said, you never know what's going on in a lot of people's minds, man. A lot of people be looking like they're having a good life, especially famous people, man. It's like people that are famous and stuff, they really commit suicide, man. People who got a lot of money, they really commit suicide. So mental health is everything, man. A lot of us, man, we feel like, man, getting money, man, we got to get money. But they really ain't about just getting money, man. It's about getting your mind together, man. It's about getting your mind together, getting your body together, getting your soul together. That's what it's really about, man. So you can be able to live a fulfilling life. But like I said, him just being a rapper, man, and and he got kids and stuff like that, and man, and somebody get to the point, you know what I'm saying? He hung with Tupac, he hung with Tupac. He, you know what I'm saying? He had his own group, he had his record label going on, and you know, and for somebody to just say, man, you know what, I'm just gonna commit suicide, man, and just, kill myself, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But like I said, man, I heard someone say a real niggas don't commit suicide, man. But that's cap, man. That's false. You know what I'm saying? Real niggas do commit, man. Everybody, I don't care real or not real, man. People commit suicide. Just look at the statistic. Like I said, look at the statistic. It's a lot of people that commit suicide on a daily. And it makes you wonder, man, why are these people committing suicide the way they do? I'm gonna tell you a story about myself. When I was drinking, I don't drink anymore. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? Thank God. He got mercy on me, man, and he helped me to stop drinking. But when I used to drink, man, I wanted to, kill myself. When I used to pop pills and, you know what I'm saying, I used to pop prescription pills and stuff, Lortabs and stuff, man, that stuff had me to the point, man, I wanted to commit suicide. I remember just being in the bathtub, man, high as hell off Lortabs, man, and just, wanting to end it all, man. Just steady popping to the point I just want to clock up out of here. You understand what I'm saying? Because I wasn't mentally together. My mind was gone. You know what I'm saying? I remember drinking like, you know what I'm saying? Like drinking like a fish, drinking like I ain't got no type of sense at all, and about to run myself up out the road, but something had woke me up and told me, man, don't run off the road. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just, man, I'm telling you, it's suicide and mental health, man, that stuff is real, man. That's why if you at a job or anything like that, man, and you going through some stuff, especially if you got a job, you got a career or anything, and you going through some things, man, and something happened in your life, man, take a break. Take a break from it. It's nothing wrong with taking a break. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in the urban community, man, suicide is never talked about. I never remember anybody since I was young until I got older. Until I got older, that's when you start hearing about committing suicide and all that. That's when you start hearing about it. But as we being young, we don't hear about things like that. We don't hear about mental health. We don't hear about, people committing suicide on a daily. We don't hear about stuff like that. It's like when you got older, it's like that's when you start finding out everything. So, it's not being taught. It's not being taught at all. At least where I come from, it wasn't taught. It wasn't taught at all. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, and you never know what that man was probably going through. You never know what young Noble was going through, man, at the time. He just lost his mother. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine, man, me losing my mother. I know I lost my father, but I can imagine losing my mother, man. How that will affect my mind, and he just lost his mother a year ago, so I can imagine, man, what he was going through in his head. And he lost his brothers, you know what I'm saying? The guys that he was rapping with and people in his family, man. So death, man, trauma, man. Trauma is real, man. Trauma is real. I go to my therapist, man, every other week, man, talking about trauma, man, because I deal with a lot of trauma. I've been through a lot of stuff, and coming where we come from, man, it's like, you numb to that. It's like things happen and we numb. Black people are just, man, we are numb to death. When people die and things go wrong and stuff like that, we are numb to it, and we have to really check. I was talking to this lady, man, she lost her daughter, man, and she just, she said she just started crying, man, she pulled up at the stoplight, and she said, I just started crying. But I'm like, lady, I'm like, you just lost your baby. I said, you just lost your daughter. What? I mean, like, you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry. You're gonna let these things out. That's what's gonna happen. You going through a trauma. You went through something. You know what I'm saying? She said, I just started crying. It's like she was surprised that she was crying. But I'm like, man, as black people, man, we are numb to death. It's like, man, when death happens, anything happens with trauma, car accidents, whatever it is, it's like we do not take that stuff seriously. And you have to take that stuff seriously, man. You have to take, man, when things happen, man, I don't care if it's just, like I said, it could be a car accident, anything, man, go to a counselor. Go talk to somebody because you've been traumatized by that. You know what I'm saying? You could have been bullied at work, anything. Go check on your mind. We don't do that. We don't go check on our mind. We don't go check, the first thing we want to do? The first thing we want to do is go fuck or go get high. The first thing we want to do is go fuck, go get high, go drink, go party, to try to numb the pain. But that stuff don't work, man. Trust me, I did it for years. I I partying, drinking, having sex, unnecessary sex. I've done it all, and that doesn't work. It does. Trust me, I've been there. It doesn't work at all. And then what's so crazy about it, the community, the black community, they would tell you that, like older guys and stuff, they'll tell you that stuff, like these are the things that will help you through whatever struggle you going through. Man, just go get you some pussy. Man, go smoke this little weed. Man, go ahead and drink. Man, that stuff do not work at all. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through all the pain and the fire, and you know what I'm saying? I ain't been through everything, but I've been through a lot, man. I've been through a lot. And then people, the first thing they want to tell you is be strong. Be strong. Just be strong. Especially women. They get that all the time. Girl, be strong. Be strong, man. Like, no, it's just like, it ain't no, man, being strong is not, it's a good thing, but it could be a detrimental to you too. Like, no, like that can hinder you too. You want to be so strong. Like, no, man. You know what I'm saying? Even some people look at crying as a weakness. Crying is not a weakness. You know, anything that has to do with emotions is like, it's considered weak. Like, no. And it's and what's so crazy, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. When you know your emotions, you know how to regulate your emotions, you know who you are as a person, as far as like when you validate your feelings, that's how you are closer to yourself than anything, because we are emotional beings. We're all emotional beings. You feel me? And like I said, I ain't got no notes. It was just something on my heart, man. And I really wanted to talk about it because, like I said, Young Noble, man, he was part of the Outlawz. He was part of the Tupac group. So I just wanted to just say something about him, because that's crazy, man. Just been through all that, through the Tupac beefs, and with the West Coast and the East Coast, and the Puff Daddy, and then these guys made it through all that. He made it through all that trauma. You know what I'm saying? Losing Gaddafi, losing Fatal, you know what I'm saying? Losing all his friends and stuff, and he went through all that just commit suicide. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But God bless the dead, and rest his soul, man. But it's like, man, dang, you ended everything with suicide. Like, man, this guy was part of a lot of legendary stuff. Man, he's been out since the 90s, and it's like, you want to end it all with committing suicide. It's like you could not take whatever you was going through. You couldn't take it. And like I said, mental illness is just something that changes it's something you went through in life that changed your thought process. It changed your mood, so that's a mental illness. So if you're a type of person, like if you went through life and it changed your mood towards things, and it changed your thought process towards things, whatever struggle in life, you got a mental illness and you need to go check on it. Like I said, I go to a therapist, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was bipolar. They had me being they said I was bipolar. They were saying then they were saying I was depressed. And then now they saying that I have extreme anxiety. So I'm going down a level, but that's the only reason why I'm doing it. The only reason why it's happening is because I had to figure out me. I got to figure out me. I have to do the work. I have to heal from it, because no one else is going to do it for me. I can't leave it for no one. I can't leave it for the therapist to do it for me. I can't leave it for my mama to do it, my friends to do it. I can't do it. And the support is good. And if you got any support in life, man, look, man, my hat goes to you, man, because it's no one's trying to support anybody out here. You basically on your own, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like living life, you're on your own. So you got to do whatever you got to do for yourself, because don't nobody care about you. Only you gonna care about you. Only you, so that's why I'm, young Noble, man. And I seen the picture with his daughter and stuff like that, man. And I got a daughter, man. And, it just, I just felt a certain type of way, man, when I seen, he committed suicide. Because at first I was like, okay, well, he died. It must, something might have happened, natural cause, anything. Because I know the dude had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. And he was saying that he was taking, and it's another thing, man. Watch out for the meds, because he was telling people that, you know, the medication that they was giving him with his heart, you know, with, you know, he was, that affected what the medication they was giving him to, I guess, to, you know, get his heart back together or whatever. He said that stuff started driving him crazy. He started not feeling like himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, watch out for the medication, man. Watch out for the medication. I don't take no medication unless it's like maybe pain pills to do, you know, anything, you know, a doctor might prescribe me for, like, you know, anything. I might hurt myself or I take a pain pill or whatever. But I'm not, as far as like just taking medication about other stuff, I'm not finna do it. You know, that I gave, you know, I gave all that stuff up, man, trying to, you know, using prescription pills and all that type of stuff, man. If I try to, whatever I try to get done for myself, I try to do it in a natural way. So, man, if you can do that in a natural way, man, that'd be the best out for you. Best out, man. Leave the medication alone. There's a lot of these pharmacies and a lot of these doctors, man, they're getting paid off you being unhealthy. They getting paid off the longest you stay healthy, the more they get paid. So these doctors are getting rich off dead bodies, man, and people who don't know how to you know, people don't know how to take care of themselves, man. You got to get to the point, man. You got to take care of yourself, man. You got to know how to take care. You can't leave the doctor to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? You have to do it yourself. So, man, so I know I kind of, you know, I read that too, man, about him, you know, taking medication and stuff about his heart and stuff, man. So, you know, but yeah, man, rest in peace to Young Noble, man. It really affected me, man. Man, I ain't been on live for a minute, but when I seen that, I was like, man, I gotta say something, man, because it's like, man, suicide is real, man. You know, it affects everybody, man. You know, when you get to the point, man, you don't want to live anymore. And I seen a lot of comments, man, talking about, man, he's not gonna go to heaven. Man, you don't know where he gonna go, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know, people in the comments, man, they talk about whatever. They don't be caring. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Hey, how you doing, man? But yeah, I just wanted to get on here, man, and talk about that, man. So rest in peace to Young Noble, man. Outlawz, you know what I'm saying? Man, man, you put it down, man, on that mic, man. You really did. You put it down, man. You really held your own, man, when it came to Tupac too, man. So, man, you know, you really deserve, man, your flowers, man. You really do. And it's shame, man. A lot of us, man, we don't give our legends flowers, man, when they're alive, man. But you know, he seemed like a good dude, man. He seemed like somebody I would like to meet, man. You know what I'm saying? He seemed very positive, man. The interviews and stuff and hearing him and stuff like that. So, you know, he seemed like a good dude, man. But anyway, man, love, peace, and power, man.